Welcome back to concealed abuse. So, what is really concealed abuse? These are abuses that are usually carried out on children who are made to live without one of their parents because of divorce and separation. Sometimes when people divorce or separate, they tend to use children to keep the other ex away from them as a way of healing, or as a way of selfishness, or as a way of revenge, or maybe this person is just have some kind of mental issues that have not been diagnosed or have not been recognized or realized. Okay, and so it is so difficult to know if a child is being abused. That's the reason why it is concealed. That's the reason why it is so neatly concealed. And it takes a professional, it takes somebody who understands this kind of abuses clearly and can identify them from an estrangement. We clearly have some parents who are abusive. We clearly have some parents who are neglectful. We clearly have some parents who do not want to be part of their children's life. They don't want anything to do with their children, so they walk away. But in concealed abuse is different. This is situations whereby there's a parent who is really fighting hard to be with the children, to see them, to bond with them, but their exes have made sure that does not happen. And so, why exactly will somebody behave like this? Why will somebody decide to keep the children away from you as one of the parent? Before I continue with this topic, kindly subscribe, share, and comment, because your comment, especially your comment, is going to make people realize or know what is going on in their life or in their friend's life. Sometimes when we do some things, we might not know why we are doing them, or we might not even know what effect it can bring to the other party, until somebody comes and tells you what you're doing is wrong, what you're doing has a negative impact. So you sit back and you realize, oh my God, I didn't know I was doing this. I didn't know I was hurting somebody else. And especially when we are hurting, when a relationship ends, people get hurt, people feel rejected. And sometimes you need time to heal, you need time to go through the shock. You might be regretting at that time, you might be blaming yourself at that time, you might be feeling awful, you're trying to heal, all right? And there's so many things that you are trying to ask yourself, why did the relationship end? And so it might bring out a lot of anger in you, and in that process you might use your children to revenge on your ex. When your ex is revenging on you, you need to look into so many things. Maybe, just maybe, when you guys were together, you are an abusive person, you are a neglectful person, you are irresponsible. And so after the separation, your ex might ask themselves if they really need to give the children to you. You know, it is true. Even myself, if you are abusive to me, if you are disrespectful to me, I'll find it really hard to give my children, all right? And in as much you are my spouse, or in as much you're my sister, or my mother, or my relative, I wouldn't want to give my children, because you abused me at some point. And so if you are that kind of a person in a relationship, and so you have separated and your ex is keeping the student away from you, try to understand that they are hurting, they are in shock, and they're asking themselves a lot of questions. You might need to prove yourself that you can actually take care of the children. Go for help if you had anger issue. If you are abusive, go for help. Try to help yourself first before you start thinking of having the children with you, because you never know, you might actually hurt them as well. So don't blame your ex so much if you played a very big part on that separation. Okay, sometimes you do not play a big part on the separation. People are not good. We cannot say that we are perfect, and you cannot also say that we are bad. Okay, so even if both of you had issues and both of you played a part to an extent that separation came, okay, maybe your ex just had a person that have psychological disturbances. Maybe they had bipolar, maybe they had narcissistic personality disorder, maybe they have paranoia, Maybe they have borderline as well. And so they might not even know that they have these problems. Maybe even the two of you, when you're together, you did not know that they have this kind of problems. And if your ex have those issues that I've mentioned, then I don't have some good news for you, because it's going to be very hard for them to give you children. They are mentally ill, and they might not know they're ill. And even if they know, they might not want to get help. And so it is so hard to deal with somebody who have mental challenges. If they do not get help, unfortunately, you might not ever see your children again. But don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. This God, and He does miracles. Okay. Your ex might also be the kind of a person who have this attitude of being the best parent, the hero, the flawless, the parent who was there, the parent who never left. Okay, and if that is the case, then most likely your ex have poisoned your children to make sure that they appear to be the best of the best. They appear to be the only parents the only parent actually who was there, and so they put all the negative things against you. They might remove every memory that the children had of you. If you had bought presents for your children, they might take them away. If you had bought probably birthday cards for the children, they might take them away. If your photos are around the house, the children had your photos, they might take those photos away from the children. If you guys had some tradition that you used to do together with the children, those traditions will stop because you are not there and they want to keep you totally out of the children's mind. And so it becomes so hard for children to keep remembering you if they don't have any memory of you. You might also try to reach out to them, but you are given those kind of blockouts, so you can't reach the children. Even if the children had phones, your ex might block you from the children. So anytime you try to call, the call does not go through. You send messages, it might not go through. And if the children are not smart enough, they will not know what's happening. They will not know that you are blocked. But if they are smart, they know what blocking is all about and they know what's happening. They might also have been poisoned and brainwashed in that they don't even see the sense of trying to reach out to you. All right? Your ex might use your weaknesses to keep you off. If you are the kind of a woman probably who was busy a lot, who worked so hard, who traveled a lot, and you had little time with your children, it is so easy for your ex to use that against you. Your ex will tell your children that even when you are together, you are never there for them. And so the children will look and like, yeah, really, so why do we even have to go to her when she's not going to be there for us? If you are the kind of a man who was also not spending time with the children, who was not responsible, and now you want to have your children, your ex might use that weaknesses against you. Tell the children, this man, your dad was never there for us, even when he was here. He never spent time with us. He never was there. He was not even there for your birthday. So why do you think that he's going to be there for you when you go visit him? And so the children will be like, really, why do I really have to go and see my dad if he's not going to be there for me? Or things like those. And so it is so hard for anybody to really identify that this is actually abuse, because your ex is poisoning the children against you. Okay? Sometimes your ex might sometimes be overly anxious. Okay? And in this overly anxiousness, they might pass it down to the children as well. And how do they do this? Sometimes when the children are asking for money, they might say things like, your dad did not send any money, he used all the money that we had. Or if the children work out or act out, sorry, they might accuse the children or snap on the children and tell them things like, you are just as rude as your mother, you are as rude as your father, you are irresponsible as your mother, you are irresponsible as your father, you are a liar like your mother, you are a liar like your father. Or you don't know how to dress like your mother, don't know how to dress like your father, you are just useless as your mother, you're just as useless as your father. And so these things are planted in a child, and a child do not want to associate themselves with bad things. And these bad things, you are tagged in it, your name is in it. And so children will ask themselves, do I really want to go and be with my mom? Or do I really want to go and be with my dad? If my dad is that careless, irresponsible, a liar, abusive, I don't want to be like my mom, I don't want to be like my dad. And so in them, even when you're going to visit them, they tend to shy away to be with you, because you are this bad person that your ex had put their mind to believe that you are a really bad person. I know Trust me, I know that one day the children are going to come back. God is not a God that sleeps. And God's times are always the best. His times are always the best. And when the time has arrived and He touches your eggs to let your children be with you, your work is to accept them and to love them. That's all. Do not try to also badmouth your ex. Do not try to explain to your children why we've not been around. It is not a topic you want to raise up with your children unless they are old enough and they ask those questions. But if they're still young, below 18, don't try to justify, don't try to tell them what happened. Just tell them that you love them and that is what matters so much. Just tell them that they are there now, that you are here now, and you are there to embrace them, to love them, and to be the parent. Do your part as a parent. Love them, welcome them back. But do not accept any disrespectful manner or behavior from them. Remember, they were kept away from you. They were brainwashed. They were told lies about you. So most likely they're coming back with a lot of attitude. They come with a lot of attitude. And so they might try to bring this attitude to you because after all, you're not a good person. You're not a good mother. You're not a good father. And so they try to show you like, listen, you've not been around. We're just supposed to come and be with you. And so do not tell us anything. Yeah, that's what might happen. From the word go, do not accept such behaviors. Don't. Because if you try to accept those behaviors, to try to be this cool parent, then most likely that these behaviors are going to go on to an extent whereby they will never go away. Maybe you have another family. Maybe you have other children. Maybe you have a spouse. Do not accept these children to disrespect their siblings, their step siblings, or your spouse. You do not know what they were told. You do not know the kind of lies that they were given. You do not know what they were told and how to come and behave when they are with you. Maybe, just maybe, your ex is doing this to show the children that you are actually a bad person. So she or he knows how you will behave if this happens. And so they teach your children how to behave to bring out the bad in you. Try to contain yourself. Don't fall on that trap. It is a trap. Be the coolest person ever, but also do not accept to be disrespected. Do not try to play cool to be the best one. Just be the parent. Don't badmouth your ex as well. Don't try to tell them what they did to keep you away from them. They already have enough. They already have enough lies. They already have enough burden. They already have enough questions. They've spent many years without you. All they want is to bond with you. That is what you're supposed to do. Just do that. But one thing for sure I know, it doesn't matter how many years it's going to be. What I know is that one day God is going to release them to you, and it's going to be the most happiest moment of your life and a permanent one because it is God's work. So don't push it. Don't push it. Be calm. Be happy. And you know why you have to be happy? It's because when they come back, they want to find a happy parent. They want to see a happy parent. They want to find a mentally stable parent, not a drunk parent, not an abusive parent, not an angry parent, not a jealous parent. No, they don't want that. Just work on yourself. Be happy. Eat well. Sleep enough. Be energetic. Create yourself to be the person that they want to meet when they come back. If this message is for you or it has helped you, kindly subscribe and share, because like I said before, if you comment, you're going to elicit some conversation. Somebody else might get help from it. You might build somebody's hope. You might raise somebody's hope. Somebody might really know that they are not alone, and one day things are going to be good and things are going to be better. Thank you very much, and subscribe again so that we can continue discussing about concealed abuse. Thank you.